Trump was at CPAC last night, Charles.
I know, the president blew it out of the park.
But you are a big Akira Kurosawa fan, right?
Of course, yeah. You know, I wrote my dissertation on that.
Sounds like a no.
It goes with, you have sake with that?
Well, but he's a very famous Japanese director. And I mean, maybe you've heard of Yojimbo. This is Yo-Joe. Much stupider version. But he's so dumb, Charles. I'm running out of...
Arrogant and dumb. I mean, and actually, you know, I think it's a great poster. The art department has distinguished itself once again. And, you know, the contrast of Donald Trump with Shinzo Abe versus this moron. I don't know, has he even been to Japan, Joe, as president?
I don't think so, because there's, you know, Abe was assassinated, which was, I feel like that didn't get enough attention, but I don't even know who the new Japanese prime minister is, and probably if Joe, you know, went and did some gaffe with him, we would know.
Right.
But we're here, Charles, in, what is this here, Herald Square?
No, the Herald Square is up there, but this is Horace Greeley Park, and
there's Horace right there.
There's Horace right there. And you see, we spend an enormous amount of money in this city. I think the budget of the city might be over $100 billion. And look at the statue here. You've got pigeon shit on the top of his head. You got a
he's boozing.
You got a champagne, some kind of champagne bottle there.
Not even Cristal.
You know, and the place is basically filthy. And here we are, and over here we're at your favorite street, Turdy Turd Street.
Well, I was going to say, if you're going to have a statue of somebody who's a shithead, that should be Joe Biden.
Exactly.
Or Eric Adams would be appropriate. They could replace the Horace Greeley statue. I feel like there's a high school named after him.
There are many.
Yeah.
He was a famous press person.
Right. It says on the sign that I think he started the New York Post or the New York Herald or something like that.
Yeah, I don't think it was the Post. The Post started before Horace
Greeley.
Oh,
right. Alexander Hamilton. No, New York Herald, I think, was his thing.
But back in the day, this intersection here at 34th Street used to just be humming with activity.
It's very quiet today. It's a little bit cold, surprisingly.
Because this used to be a major shopping center with Macy's is still there, but there was a store called Gimbel's that I think is where H&M is. And to see so many stores vacant, so many marginal stores and or vacant space, right in the center of.
It used to be the retail mecca.
Well, this is in theory the richest city in the world.
Yeah, I don't
New
think
York
so.
City, and you look at it, it doesn't seem that rich to me.
Charles, every day is a Mario Day at Game Stonks. It's a stupid Mario Day at Crowdsource the Truth.
But look at this. I mean, this is you see it. The store in this location, kitty corner away from Macy's, completely out. This used to be, you know, you could say that maybe a specialty store wouldn't make it, but this used to be right here, over here, this used to be Gap.
Yeah.
You know, and Gap is, I believe, a major chain. I don't know how well it's doing these days.
I think not well. I mean, it's supposed to be kind of economical clothing and stuff, but I feel like I haven't seen the Gap around too much in a long time.
And then across the street you had Victoria's Secret. And now you've got, you know, a falafel cart. That's it.
I read that Victoria's Secret announced they're bringing back the Victoria's Secret fashion show, but if they're going to use the models that they have in the displays in the windows, it's going to be the Victoria's Secret fashion show. And people will get upset. Oh, you're fat shaming. Here's the news. If you're morbidly obese, you're harming your health. Lose weight. Anybody who tells you you look great is lying to you. That's like telling your alcoholic friend you're a lot more fun when you were drinking.
Right. But then we look down this way, there's really a new city over there in the west where you start seeing the new tall buildings, and there's just decay between here and there.
So is it the globalists that are wanting Hudson Yards to thrive?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's people who operate in the multinational enterprises and are not here, probably don't have their children in school, that want to have apartments, modern apartments like the ones you'll see in Asia and around the world, on the water, over there on the Hudson River.
Well, it was also, that land was, I guess, cheap to develop at the time that they did it because it was nobody was going over there, and now
Right.
they've stuck a whole city there.
Right.
But we should also let people know, Charles, there's a lot of stuff that Trump was saying last night that we want to talk about,
Sure.
that we would get totally booted off of YouTube. So we're going to be in the First Amendment Forum in just about 15 minutes. People will be able to join us there on subscribestar.com/crowdsourcethetruth, patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth, odyssey.com/@crowdsourcethetruth, and crowdsourcethetruth.substack.com. How's your Substack going,
It's
Charles?
good. It's good. I'm getting more and more people. Did you walk? If you just stop for a second.
Sure.
Here we have, a sustainable economy with, is that smoke from a diesel, from a grill and a fire, billowing out, stinking up the front entrance of Macy's, the largest department store in the world.
It
You would
smells
think-
burnt.
It's horrible. I mean, you would think that somebody would say, the mayor would say, instead of going around the world to conferences and, spouting shit, just tell that fucking idiot.
Plant-based shawarma.
Yeah, tell that fucking idiot to get the cart away from the entrance to Macy's.
I don't know. I think that they should be focusing more on people having restaurants and businesses that are paying taxes and rent rather than allowing them to sell burned meat on the street.
Right. Well, I mean, people do this because of the value-added tax system in places like Europe. When Europeans have money, and there are always some Europeans have spare money.
That guy's going nuts, Charles.
Yeah, no, let's get away from it. They're happy to come here and buy clothing here because the sales tax is. Let's get away from that dude because he's 9%, and whereas it's 20+% across Europe.
Wow.
And the actual clothes prices can be higher over there. So people come here from Europe principally to shop at Macy's and other places, and when they come here, they like to go to restaurants and they pay hotel bills, they do this and that, and you would think that it's in the interest of the mayor to make sure that tourists want to come to this place and not set this place up as a crime-ridden shit show, which is what it is.
Yeah. It's only getting worse.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to say who they are, some people going to South Africa who are close to me in a number of months, and I've been there once many years ago, almost 30 years ago actually. And you read up on South Africa, it is
a disaster.
It is a literal shit show. I
They
mean,
said it's falling apart. I read some thread on Twitter from a guy who lives there who was describing the specific things that had happened that led to it, and that he was saying the United States is next.
well, yeah, the power systems are not working,
Right.
the crime systems.
Rolling blackouts.
Right, and it's not a laughing matter in the hot summer and in the heat down there.
Well, it's not just air conditioning, though. I mean, rolling
Yeah.
blackouts, you can't conduct any activity reliably because you don't know when the power is going to shut out. And if you're doing stuff like for my type of business, and particularly my former business, you can't have that, a random power outage. We
Sure.
were sometimes working on things that took 2, 3, 10 days
Right.
to process.
Right.
And you need reliable energy to run a society reliably.
Well, and I mean, and sustainably.
Right.
You need it in a hospital, right? You can't
Oh, right.
have. Sorry, the operation. We're gonna have to pause it here until the power comes back. Hope you don't bleed to death. So that's a real.
And you've told us how inexpensive energy correlates to prosperous economies,
Right.
like kind of always.
Well, I think the data show. I mean, there's a lot of data out there, but the clearest correlation between substantive economic progress and anything is consumption of electricity.
Consumption of electricity, right.
And we consume per person an enormous amount of electricity. And I don't see. I mean, the bug eaters. I don't see them saying, you know what? I'm just going to turn my air conditioner off. I'm not going to use a dishwasher.
Well, they want you to use more electricity. More cars, more electric cars, more.
Which are now in many countries more expensive to operate than fuel-based cars.
Yeah.
Look at this. For lease, closing store.
Oh. Yeah. No, not good. So there's something coming this winter. Which winter? Now hiring.
2021.
That's amazing. All closed.
1 day left. Closing
For
store.
what?
Madison Jewelers, 1 day left.
Oh, I think they're gone. And
There's
then on
another
this
one.
side we have more closures.
They just saw her.
Well, so once we get over to the First Amendment Forum, we'll have an opportunity to talk about Trump's speech at CPAC. We can talk about Matt Schlapp. I haven't heard any reports of him trying to schlap anybody on the dick again, as he's been accused of.
It was just a good schlapping fun.
Mercedes Schlapp is still there.
I don't think Mercedes is touching
Whoa,
that schlap.
kosher, organic, Japanese. That's pretty specialized,
Also
Charles.
gluten-free.
Oh man, there's going to be like 2 people who qualify to eat there.
It's like
The gluten-free Jewish Japanese emperor.
yeah, it's otherwise known as sawdust. I mean, it's like
Why didn't they make it vegan? Kosher, vegan, gluten-free
Meatless.
sushi.
yeah, meatless,
Whole
salt-free,
grain.
salt-free.
Yeah. Can I get it without sauce on the side?
Can I have a mask? That's
Oh
what-
my God.
Just walking in front of the New York Public Library down the Village of Jefferson Market, and there's this idiot with a mask walking in the street with a mask. I mean, it's just
Well, but just along the lines of that restaurant, Charles, you know, on Friday's episode with John Cullen, we were talking about an episode of South Park where they wanted to open a restaurant called Asperger's, which is secretly,
another one.
yeah, secretly an idea that I thought would be pretty funny.
That would be pretty funny, actually. Yeah.
That-
It's a sad condition, but it's.
I had some joke about that Japanese restaurant tied to the Asperger's idea, but I forgot
Police.
what it was going to be. Yeah, I mean,
I
everything.
can't think of a time in recent history where there have been so many years of just
Negative
profound
growth.
emptiness.
No,
in
it's
Manhattan.
never been like
I mean,
this,
This
ever.
is ridiculous.
Never. And to act like this is fine or normal or,
Just everywhere, across the street, there, here.
and we're not even getting any kind of audit of, you know, every single one of these buildings has a ton of offices in them that normally were so full you couldn't even get one.
Did you say had or has?
Well, still has, but probably nobody's in them.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll talk about Trump, his speech at CPAC. There's a lot of people giving speeches at CPAC. We were talking about it last night with Lee Stranahan, James O'Keefe, and you know, everything going on with Project Veritas throwing them out.
Right. Doug
Fine.
Emhoff's speech on toxic masculinity. The real title of that speech was Toxic Stupidity.
Well, I thought they were going to have RuPaul give the speech on toxic masculinity.
Right. At least RuPaul is funny, right?
I
mean,
can't
this
say I'm
de-
that familiar with RuPaul. I've seen RuPaul.
Pretty funny, good sense of humor. But this Emhoff guy is like he's just a bland.
Hit by some kind of interference I haven't heard before.
Maybe it's that crazy woman.
Maybe.
You got your Birkenstocks? Because we can
What
stop
socks?
over there at Birkenstocks.
Oh, Birkenstocks? No, I don't like those.
I don't get it. It's like, you know, I paid for
you're-
the whole shoe. Where's the other part of it?
If you're like, you know, some like hairy 60-year-old hippie, you can get those.
I don't get it.
Somebody's right now laughing their ass off watching wearing Birkenstocks.
Probably with socks.
With socks, right.
exactly.
They should even make Birkensocks.
Birkenstocks.
I don't know,
Or
we've got some
Birkenstocks.
sort of,
We always get it right around here. On
maybe, yeah.
And here's
All right, well,
Peter Nygaard.
yeah, they still have the picture of Nygaard there.
He's still
which
in
is-
jail.
I understand, but I don't understand why they still have that picture of him there. And also, it's a terrible picture. Doesn't it look way too red?
He looks weird as hell. I guess he's in pretty good shape for his age.
Because he's constantly impregnating models and then using the placenta to get stem cells or something.
God almighty.
Didn't you hear about that?
I tried. I remember I'm very squeamish, but so that's a story I wouldn't.
Racist
Read.
against stem cells? Well, Charles, we're out of time here on this segment,
sorry?
but we're going to carry on in just less than 5 minutes. People can join us on subscribestar.com/crowdsourcethetruth, patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth, odyssey.com/@crowdsourcethetruth, and crowdsourcethetruth Substack.com. It's super important for people to become sponsors because this effort to stamp out Crowdsource the Truth, I have to say, it's interesting to observe how dedicated to it they are. And the only way people can really help is by becoming sponsors. Look at that cute, tiny little dog.
Yeah.
Really great. All right, we'll be back in just a minute.